I'm always looking to go to events in the film industry. I love supporting the films within all genres, but particularly horror, because this year I've been really trying to look in within industry. It's my first year of kind of actually watching horror genre films. So last year I went to Fright Fest. I got to get to know the fans there of horror and see lots of different types of horror movies I've never seen, because I was just being introduced to the genre. So to be able to come to this event and celebrate women especially is pretty good. I'm a big fan of supporting women. It came very natural. I never thought about what I wanted to do. It was kind of, I suppose the thing I was good at was in school. I remember when I was in sixth form college, and I was coming to the end. I studied dance, drama, media and photography. So I've always, from a young age, always going to the theatre, being taken to the West End, being London based. And I was doing dance from a young age, so I had a performance quality to myself. But as soon as I got to the end of college, I kind of was like, okay, I focused on getting the best grades I can, and I went straight into auditioning for theatre. And I was getting the roles, and it was a case of I didn't even care to think about the idea of going to drama school from then, because drama school never teach you the business side of the industry. Once you leave drama school, you're at square one, just like everybody else. The best thing that drama school will teach you are techniques to deal with script, deal with your body, deal with things like that. But you can't learn how to be professional without being in the industry. So coming from going to sixth form and studying theatre, I'd performed musical theatre, traditional theatre, but the last thing I did do was physical theatre, and that's very expressive. A lot of my dance training was very helpful with that. But from going from physical theatre, I then went to film, but that came very naturally, as I always thought I was going to be the actress who was in theatre, and then someone may see me and might think, oh, she's great for film, and I've always wanted to try film, but I never thought things would start out in film, which I'm very grateful for. It's an amazing thing to be part of, and a completely different craft to theatre, although I do sometimes miss the theatre. But yeah, it's great. It's great. There's a certain business quality to being a film actor, the film industry, and the way the business works in terms of the way you market yourself, the way you network. The thing with theatre is kind of like, well, I'll be showing my skills. You have to have very specific skills in theatre. It's something you would probably have to get training for. Whereas with film, I came about as you have to be a very natural actor. So it's in terms of, I came from physical theatre, so expressive, that when I started film, I had to really learn how to really pull that down, become a natural actor, and learn to just be in a very everyday sense, whereas theatre is a bigger craft. So from going from theatre to film, I had a lot of people saying, go to drama school, but I'm like, no, because I don't want to. There's a way of overacting to an extent, and for film, when I started out, I was too expressive. My eyes were too big, things were too much, and I just learned how to just simply be, and there's a certain way of honing in a character that's completely different to theatre. But for example, when it comes to film, it's like the way you network, you have a show reel, you have footage to show. It's so much easier to communicate with people in the industry and get work, whereas with theatre, you invite them to a showcase. Once the theatre's performed, the moment's over. As much as I love the live performance, that's gone. Film lives forever, and the footage is always going to be there, and it's always proof to show your skills and what you've been part of. And so many genres, it's a wonderful industry to be part of. It's interesting because I like different roles for different reasons and genres for different reasons. My personality is quite a dynamic one, so if I can bring something like quite badass, then that's a personality trait. But I also like to perform things like comedy, where I just enjoy clowning. I'm a bit of a clowner. But I performed, my first film role was a period drama, because I used to look very much towards like Audrey Hepburn era, the classic Hollywood era. But I've gone from period drama to like comedy to going into horror. And horror was a whole new world, and it was my first ever lead role in a feature film with Carnivore, and it was such a great experience. I'm so glad that was my first lead role experience, because being on set was so memorable, so many memories on there, and such a great cast and crew to be with. I'm not a one-trick pony. I like to dip in. It's been very recently that I've been able to expand my genres, and I've been watching so many different films that have inspired me to get involved in certain genres. For example, the idea that I met someone who very much liked horror. But I love expanding my knowledge and love experiencing new things. So my aim that end of last year was to see more horror. And it got me inspired to want to work in horror. And then I went to Fright Fest, and I met fans of horror, I met filmmakers of horror. I did some interviews with Fright Fest with fan carpet, check it out. Yes, but I'd love to look at sci-fi, love to work at sci-fi, fantasy. I love the idea of being a whole new world. Get very creative, be very otherworldly, transform. I love having to research characters. I love having to not only just play myself all the time, as much as I do enjoy that too. It's the case of I like to expand, and every performance I want to try and be different and bring something new, and I like bringing new ideas to the table. So yeah, again, like I said, I love the idea of classic Hollywood, but I also like being a freaking badass action hero girl huntress. There's many different sides. I'd love to just be challenged. So yeah. I love that question. The people I try and look at are the people that I think who I could relate to in a business sense. So actors like Anne Hathaway, Angelina Jolie, maybe Mila Jovovich, but because the idea they're brunettes, and the idea that they can go from period drama to action. For example, Anne Hathaway, she can go from a Disney princess to playing Catwoman. You know, that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to go from a very maybe sophisticated period drama to a complete dark, maybe villain, action, something very gritty, something very dramatic, emotional. So it's nice to have variety rather than typecast. I don't want to be typecast. In the past with theatre, I had experience devising theatre, but I'm only 19, so I'm at an age where I'm coming into life and where I'm experiencing all these new things. I'm waiting to be particularly inspired before I kind of jump into writing, because I'm a bit of a perfectionist to an extent. I want what I would do to know I'm confident with it. I have a few ideas I've written down, but I'd love to direct one day. Directing something that I think I could confidently pursue. I mean, if I have an idea already in place, I'm very good at being able to expand on that, and I love feeding from it. Yeah, I'd just rather focus on my acting, that's my passion, but if the opportunity comes in the future, maybe even producing, because I love business. So if I can be the one in charge, like being able to bring something forward and push it forward and get connections and get the funding and feed off business as well, then producing is also an option. I've been involved in many meetings recently. There's 2 horrors in talks, along with a film noir. Many things, got quite a few things lined up, along with like a thriller drama, a solitaire, and a drama romance. So we're getting pretty. and also a role that I'm quite excited to play, a scientist. So yeah, it's gone from, I've really moved forward. I'm excited this year. Last year was me kind of finding my feet and seeing, meeting new people, and now I've gone from being this kind of type of actor to kind of saying, look, I want to do this, this and this, and it's happening this year. It's going from horror to sci-fi to drama, romance. I'm loving it. So yeah, it's exciting.